Let's go ahead and start laying in a supine position today. We'll get our music going here. Just go ahead and lay down, resting on your back. Let your hands come down by your sides. And you can either keep the palms of the hands flipped down into the mat if you would like to feel a little bit more centered, a little bit more grounded in your practice today. Or if you'd like to open yourself up, you're welcome to start to flip the palms of the hands up towards the sky. Try to soften through the shoulders. Let yourself relax. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and we'll start off with some cleansing breaths out through the mouth today. So go ahead and sigh it out. Audible exhale out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose. And audible exhale out through the mouth. One more time, breathe in through the nose. And audible exhale out through the mouth. And then go ahead and start to find that breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale on that next breath out, I want you to start to close down the eyes, shutting down the gaze. So you continue to find your own steady pace breathing today. See if you can breathe in for the same amount of time that you breathe out. Just start to release all of those worries from your day with every exhale. Let go of a little bit more tension, maybe out of the jaw, maybe out of the shoulders. Just allowing yourself this time at the beginning of our practice to kind of clear those thoughts that may be clouding your mind. See if you can set an intention for your practice instead today. That intention can be something as simple as maintaining the steady breath throughout our practice. Maybe you're looking to find a little bit more peace, a little bit more love and light in your day. Or maybe you're looking just to be a little bit more mindful with your breath, with your movements today. Whatever that intention or focus may be. See if you can bring that intention to the center of your mind. Let it flood through the rest of your body. Just focusing in on that one thought, focusing in on the sound of your inhale and the sounds of your exhales. Just enjoying this time at the beginning of your practice. Now add a little bit more movement in after 3 more breath cycles. Make sure you're breathing in deeply, drawing that air into the lungs, deep down into the belly. And then exhale, gently release that breath away. And then whenever you're ready, as you finish out that third exhale, on your next inhale, begin to open up the eyes and gently sweep the fingertips up towards the crown of the head. Take a full body stretch here. Point through the toes, reach the fingertips away from the belly button. Inhale, grow an inch taller. Exhale, soften some tension out of the shoulders. Inhale, grow another inch taller. And then exhale, bring the hands back down by the hips, release that tension out of the ankles. From here, go ahead and take a deep breath in. Draw the right knee in towards your heart. Bring all 10 fingers underneath that right kneecap and inch underneath that right kneecap. Just moving into our first half wind relieving pose. This can be more of a passive stretch, just letting that knee come naturally where it may, or you can start to engage through your biceps, making this a little more active by drawing that right knee closer into your chest. Try to keep all 10 toes gently curled in towards the shins, so that way we can protect both of our knee joints. Take a deep breath in, breathe it out, and then on that next inhale, gently guide that right knee over in towards your right shoulder. Start to open up through that right hip. This will help to ease some tension out of that IT band, out of your hip flexors. And then from here, go ahead and inhale. Lift the left hand up towards the sky. Place your left hand on the outer edge of that right knee. Pull and gently guide that right knee over to the left side of the room. Open your arms in line with the shoulders. At least that right arm in line with right shoulder. Let your eyes fall opposite of that knee. You can either let that left hand stay resting on your right thigh, or you can extend that arm also out in line with your shoulders. I encourage you to try to keep your shoulder blades resting firmly into the mat, and that means you lift that leg gently off of the earth, so that way that right foot can hang out in space. To make this more comfortable, you're welcome to find this pose there. On that next inhale, we'll slowly come back to the center, half wind relieving pose. Find that alignment, and then exhale, release right leg down the mat. Inhale, draw your left knee in towards the chest, all 10 fingers interlace underneath that left kneecap. And this can be more of a passive stretch to start. And then as you're ready, inhale, engage through the biceps, make this a little bit more active. Really hugging that left knee into the heart. Check in with your toes. Are they still gently curled in towards the shin? Is your low back laying flush into the mat? Are your hips in a neutral alignment? On that next inhale, go ahead and gently guide left knee over into that left shoulder. Feel that IT band release. Feel it lose all of that tension. You start to open up through that hip. On your next inhale, lift the right arm up towards the sky. Place the right palm of the hand on the outer edge of that left thigh. And gently guide that left knee over across the body to the right side of the room. Open your left arm in line with left shoulder. And again, keep the shoulder blades rooted in towards the mat. So that means this left foot comes and just hangs out in space instead. That's a great place to be. Breathe in, and as you exhale, maybe get a little deeper into that spinal twist. And then when you're ready, on that next inhale, we'll come back to that center, half wind relieving pose. Give that left knee one more hug into the heart. Exhale, release that left leg down the length of your mat. From here, go ahead and bring all 10 fingers to frame the width of your hips. Walk the palms of the feet onto the mat, bending the knees just until they're about in alignment with your hips. We're going to move into a bridge pose. So can you take a moment, rotate the shoulder blades gently together so the upper back is laying flush into the mat. Spread all 10 fingertips wide. Take a deep breath in through the nose, engage through the core, and start to lift the hips gently off of the mat until you feel a little bit more engagement through the glutes. Try to avoid overarching through that low back. Instead, let that spine rest in a neutral position. There is no tension in the neck. Your shoulder blades are supporting you here. Breathe in and breathe out. Take another breath in, and then let's exhale, soften the hips down onto the mat. From here, inhale, lift the palms of the feet off of the earth, bring the shins parallel with the mat. Your knees are in line with your hips for a supine tabletop position. Try to keep that low back flush into the mat so that way you're getting a little bit more extra support in that lumbar spine here. If you want to, you can go ahead and point and flex through the toes, helping to ease some tension out of the ankle. And then maybe rotate the ankles clockwise, and then rotate the ankles counterclockwise. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and bring both knees into the chest, interlace all 10 fingers underneath the kneecaps, giving yourself a nice big hug here. For your double wind relieving pose, you can gently sway to the right and sway to the left, massaging out that low back if you find that your low back is a little tense today. And then when you're ready, let's come back to the center with the back flying flush onto the mat. We're going to start to open up through the hamstrings a little bit more. So from here, release the palms of the hands to frame the width of your hips. Gently release the knees back in line with the hips. Back to that tabletop position. As you inhale, start to extend the legs to legs up the wall. If the hamstrings are still pretty tight, you can start off with a slight bend in the knees. And then as you feel more comfortable, take inhales to extend through the legs. Exhale, maybe soften that tension out. Inhale, extend through the legs. Exhale, soften. Can you keep all 10 toes flexed? And then from here, go ahead and find your furthest point of just a little bit of resistance. Your legs up the wall. Find that activation through the entire lower limbs. The low back is laying flush into the mat. Whenever you're ready, start to gather up that core strength. Draw that navel in towards the spinal column. Reach your fingertips up towards the sky. And then inhale, lift the shoulder blades off of the mat as if you're reaching for the toes and palms of the hands. From here, we're going to interlace all 10 fingers behind this right thigh as you gently lower the left leg down onto the mat. Try to keep that right leg extended as much as you can. And as you breathe in, you draw the right knee a little closer to the forehead. Exhale, soften that tension out. Inhale, draw the knee a little closer. Exhale, soften. You should feel this stretching out through this back hamstring, through the back side of that right thigh. Just move through this with your breath. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale. Gently release that right leg back to neutral. Release your shoulder blades back down to the mat. If you want to, you can go ahead and bend through that right knee. Inhale, bring your left knee to match back in that supine tabletop position. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. Just letting ourselves reset here. And then inhale, extend both legs back up to legs up the wall. Finding your point just a little bit more of lower limb activation. And then from here, again, engage through that core. Lift the fingertips up towards the sky. Inhale, gently lift the shoulder blades off the mat. Bring all 10 fingers to interlace behind that left thigh as you gently lower that right leg down onto the mat. Beautiful. So inhale, bring that left knee a little closer in towards the body. Exhale, soften that tension away. Inhale, lift. Exhale to soften. So for me, I don't have quite as much mobility in my left hamstring as my right. So just be sure to be gentle with yourself here. Inhaling just to find a little bit of resistance, and then exhaling to let that muscle relax. One last time. And then exhale, release that left leg all the way down onto the mat. Release your shoulder blades back down onto the mat. Beautiful job. Whenever you're ready, bend both knees, walk the palms of the feet back onto the mat, and then from here, come back into your double wind relieving pose. Whenever you're ready, start to gently rock and roll a few times forward and back to help us come up to an easy seated position. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and let the sit bones rest into the mat. You bring the palms of the feet to touch. Gently lower the knees down closer to the earth for your bound angle. If your hips are pretty tight, I encourage you to move the heels a little further away from the midline of the body. Or if you have pretty open hips naturally, you can work to bring the heels a little closer in towards your body. The ultimate goal is to let the knees naturally relax down onto the mat. The hands can stay resting around the ankles, or if you would like to add a little resistance, you can place the palms of the hands on the inner thighs and gently help guide the knees closer to the earth. Now, I encourage you to also try to stay seated up nice and tall. Let your spinal column stay in a neutral position, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Take another deep breath in and another deep breath out. Beautiful job. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and bring the knees together towards the midline of the body, like closing the pages of a book. Let the palms of the feet come down onto the mat. Interlace all 10 fingers an inch underneath your kneecaps. Gently incline the body slightly back, so that way you can lift the palms of the feet off of the mat and point and flex through the ankles here. Maybe rotate the ankles clockwise and counterclockwise. And then from here, we're going to release the palms of the feet onto the mat. Go ahead and gently extend, release both legs down onto the mat. So that way we're still seated up tall. Your sit bones are rooted into the mat. The spine is in a neutral column. Let's bring the palms of the hands down to frame the width of our hips. Take a moment and just gently rotate the shoulders back a few times. You can really exaggerate this movement to find your own natural shoulder movement. And then whenever you're ready, rotate the shoulders all the way towards the back side of the room. Gently draw the shoulder blades together. Have a slight bend in the elbows. You keep all 10 toes gently flexed. Take a deep breath in through the nose to gently hover the hips off of the mat for our stack pose. You want to avoid leaning too far forward or leaning too far back. Try to maintain that neutral spinal position. Grip the mat with all 10 fingers so that way your weight isn't in towards the wrists. And then as you exhale, gently soften the seat back in towards the mat. Let's inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky, and exhale our hands to heart center. Beautiful. Another inhale to sweep the fingertips up towards the sky, and then exhale, hands to heart center. From here, I want you to go ahead and just gently extend this left leg out from your hip. Bring that palm of the right foot to the inner edge of your left thigh. With your hands starting at heart center, we'll inhale, press the palms of the hand up towards the sky. As you exhale, pivot the body to face that left leg, and then exhale, maintaining that neutral spinal column, slowly moving from the hips, coming into your single-legged forward fold. The fingertips can reach for the ankles, the shins, or if you have a little bit more room, you can work to bring the fingertips around the palm of the foot or just around the toes. Breathe in through the nose to lengthen, and exhale, fold a little bit deeper. You can maintain a slight bend in the elbows, so that way you can kind of help to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Think about maintaining an open heart, a broad chest here. And again, moving with your breath. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. One more time, inhale to lengthen. This time, exhale. See if you can hold that single-legged forward fold for about 3 breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. As you finish that last exhale, we'll inhale, slowly rise back up to our neutral starting position. Bring the shoulders and hips back square to the front. And then as you exhale, release that left hand down towards left ankle or left toes. Gently draw your right arm over right ear. Lift the chin away from the chest for side body stretch. Breathe in, and as you exhale, can you fold a little deeper? Inhale to lift, exhale, folding a little deeper. Same concepts here. Your heart is still open. Lift that right elbow up towards the sky. Lift the hands up overhead as well. And then when you're ready, inhale. We'll bring all 10 fingers back up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Gently extend that right leg out from your right hip now, and bring that left palm of the foot to the inner edge of your right thigh. With the hands at heart center, we'll inhale. Press all 10 fingertips up overhead. As you exhale, gently rotate the body to face that right leg. Exhale, hinging through the hips, maintaining that neutral spinal column. Slowly lower down into your single-legged forward fold. And you can either let the hands start off resting around the shins, the ankles, and then as you move through this, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, get a little deeper into the hamstring. Inhale to lengthen through the spinal column, and then exhale, fold a little deeper. Just moving through this a few more times until you find that point of most resistance, and then we'll stay there for about 3 breath cycles. Try to maintain that soft bend in the elbows, keep the shoulders away from the ears, your eyes are just gently down towards the earth. Breathe in and breathe out. And on that next inhale, we'll lift the fingertips back up overhead, pivot the body back to the center. Exhale, right hand down to right ankle or right toes, and then gently side body stretch. Reach your left fingertips over your left ear. You may find that that left elbow has a tendency to kind of draw forward. So I really encourage you to think about lifting the eyes up towards the sky, so that way you can make sure that you're not drooping this elbow forward. You're keeping it lifted up towards the ceiling. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. 2 more times. Then whenever you're ready, inhale. We'll lift back up to our starting position, all 10 fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, go ahead and extend that left leg back out naturally from that left hip. Try to keep the toes gently curled in. We're going to start to stretch out through this inner thigh. As you inhale, lift the fingertips up towards the sky. Open the palms of the hands to face the front side of the room. And exhale, try to maintain the sit bones connection to the mat. Just hinging through the hips, slowly lowering down to the earth. Let the fingertips make connection to the mat or just to the floor first. See if you can keep the shoulders away from the ears so that way we're not hunching, rounding out through the upper back. Breathe in to lengthen, and as you exhale, maybe walk the fingertips a little further away from the body. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to get a little bit deeper. One more time. Inhale to lengthen and lift. Exhale. Find your deepest point in the stretch. And we'll stay here for 3 breath cycles. Remember to keep breathing. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed away from the ears. Your gaze is gently down towards the earth. And then on that next inhale, slowly using that core strength, lift the fingertips back up towards the sky. And exhale your hands to heart center. Beautiful job. From here, let's go ahead and gently bend through the knees. Come back into your bound angle. Bring the palms of the feet together. Maybe there's a little bit of tension through the hips, just lifting that tension out. Moving through the legs, lifting the knees and then lowering. And then whenever you're ready, find that point of just the most resistance in the hips, really opening out through the hip flexors here. You should feel this stretching on the outer edges of your glutes, that outer portion of your hips. Breathe in and breathe out. And then from here again, closing the knees together like the pages of a book, let the palms of the feet come down onto the mat. If you want to, you can even incline slightly back, lift the chin up towards the sky, bring all 10 fingertips stimulates underneath the knees, bringing the palms of the feet off of the mat, and again, release some tension out of the ankles. Rotate the ankles clockwise and counterclockwise. And whenever you're ready from here, let's start to warm up through the core a little bit more, finding that activation today. Maintaining that upper body incline about 45 degrees. You can bring the palms of the hands to the back side of the thighs so you can lift the shins at about parallel to the mat. Moving into our boat pose. Think about even here, keeping the shoulders gently rotated together, or shoulder blades are a little bit closer together so that way you can maintain this broad chest. Your gaze is lifted up towards the ceiling, hands can stay on the back side of the thighs, or you can start to extend the arms in line with the shins. Breathe in and breathe out. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, give yourself a nice big hug here. Coming back up into that seated position. Point flex through the toes, or whenever you're ready, go ahead and sweep the feet over towards one side. Let's make our way into our tabletop position. We're bringing the shoulders stacked over the wrists. Your knees are directly underneath your hips. Tops of the feet are planted into the earth today. And see if you can find that neutral spinal position. If your spine is a little tight, especially if you've been sitting all day, I encourage you to just take a moment, maybe sway the hips from side to side. Or you can even take hip circles, moving them clockwise and counterclockwise to ease some of that tension out of your back. Just finding what feels good in your body today, not worrying about whatever it is or how you may look. Just enjoying your practice, enjoying your movement, finding that freedom in your body. And then whenever you're ready, we'll return to that neutral tabletop position with your gaze down towards the mat. You're gripping the mat with all 10 fingers. Again, the knees are underneath the hips, shoulders are stacked over the wrists. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh that breath away. On your next inhale, let's move into cow. Slowly lowering through the belly, lifting through the head and heart, drawing the eyes up towards the sky. And then exhale, running out through back in the opposite direction, tilting the pelvis slightly forward, press through the shoulders to the chest for cat. Inhale to slowly move into your cow. And exhale to move into your cat. One more time. Inhale to find your cow. And exhale to find your cat. So make sure you're pressing up through the shoulders here. Get a little stretch there too. And then let's return to our neutral tabletop position. Beautiful. On that next breath in, go ahead and gently lift your right arm in line with right ear. And then we're going to press that right palm of the hand to face towards the front side of the room. Kind of like you're giving yourself or giving that wall a little high five. Take a deep breath in. And when you're ready, exhale, release that palm of the hand back towards the mat. From here, start to extend just your back left leg towards the back edge of your mat. And then as you breathe in, we'll lift left leg gently off of the mat in line with left hip. Try to avoid overarching through that low back. Instead, see if you can use your core to maintain a stable center here. The eyes are still down towards the earth. Take another breath in, and then exhale, release that knee down to the earth. From here, let's take that to the other side. Inhale, bring your left arm in line with left shoulder. Your gaze is down towards the earth. And then flip that left palm of the hand to press towards that front side of the room. Getting a little stretch through the wrists. Breathe in and exhale. Release that palm of the hand back down towards the mat. From here, extend your back right leg to the back edge of your mat. Take a deep breath in to lift that right leg in line with right hip. Try to avoid rolling over to this left side of the body. I want you to maintain your weight directly in the center. Try to check in with that low back. Make sure you feel no tension there. Use your core strength. And when you're ready, exhale, release that right knee down towards the mat. From here, let's plant all 10 toes in towards the mat. Take a deep breath in. Slowly lift the hips up towards the sky. As you exhale, gently release the heels towards the ground. Finding our first down dog today. Beautiful. Breathe in. And as you exhale, can you find a little bit more length in your neck, softening the shoulders away from the ears. And then maybe start to pedal out through the legs if the hamstrings are really tight. And again, you can move real nice and slow here. Taking your time to open up through the hamstrings. Whatever leg is extended or straight, think about driving that leg's heel closer into the mat. And then whenever you're ready, whenever you feel a little bit more limber, a little more loose, we're going to come into our center steady down dog. You're gripping the mat with all 10 fingers. The hips are lifted towards the sky. The heels are gently drawn towards the mat. Breathing in and breathing out. Beautiful job. On that next inhale, slowly step the feet up to meet the hands, finding our first forward fold. Make sure to bend the knees as much as necessary, so that way the belly is resting on the thighs. Your hips are lifted up towards the ceiling. Your crown of the head is drawn down towards the earth. Breathe in and breathe out, making sure the shoulders, even here, are away from the ears. Let's get a little deeper into this forward fold. I want you to go ahead and bend the knees as much as necessary, so that way your chest is resting on the thighs. From here, we're going to wrap the forearms around the backside of the calves, and then, if you can, lift the heels slightly off the mat so you can bring all 10 fingertips underneath each heel. We're going to move into gorilla here. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. As you breathe in, slowly extend through the legs, lifting the hips up towards the sky. This is a deep hamstring stretch, so take your time. Exhale, soften back out, release that tension. Inhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, soften out through the knees. One more time. Inhale, lift the hips up as high as you'd like to go, and we'll stay here for 2 breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time, deep breath in, and exhale, bend through the knees, gently release your fingertips in front of the toes, coming back into your forward fold. Let's move into a halfway lift as you inhale with the palms of the hands, come onto the shins, creating a flat back parallel to the earth, pressing the hips to the back side of the room, the head and heart reaches forward. We want to avoid locking out through the knees, have a slight bend here. Palms of the hands can stay resting on the shins, or if you prefer, you can walk them up a little closer onto the quads. Sometimes it's nice just to take these poses in a little bit of a different way to see how our alignment feels. To see if the changes are the effect of the body at all. Take another deep breath in, and then let's exhale, release down onto the mat, just for a quick look for you. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Let's take the fingertips all the way up towards the sky for our first mountain pose. Exhale, hands heart center. Release the palms of the hands down towards the hips, and inhale, sweep fingertips up towards the sky, extending mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, lift the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinge through the hips. Incline the upper body 45 degrees, moving into your chair. The weight is shifted in towards the heels and towards the hips. You're going to lift all 10 toes with a little balance check before setting the toes back down onto the mat. Make sure to breathe in. Exhale, lower the seat another inch. One more breath in. And then exhale, lower all the way into a forward fold. From here, keeping the right foot rooted where it's at, Press your fingertips into the mat to get just a little bit more lift, a little bit more length through that spinal column, through the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, bend through the knees. As you exhale, step the left foot towards the back edge of your mat, just 2 to 3 feet away from that right, moving into our pyramid pose. So the left hip is gonna want to open up towards the sky here. I encourage you to think about drawing that left knee straight down towards the earth. All 10 toes are pointed to the front side of the room. And if the right hamstring is still tight, you can start off with a deeper bend in the knee. And as you inhale, you can press that right thigh towards the back side of the room. Exhale, soften that tension. Inhale, draw that right thigh back. Exhale to soften. Moving through this. And then when you're ready, find that point of most resistance for you. It will stay here for 2 breath cycles. Beautiful job. Think about keeping shoulders away from the ears. Nice broad chest, open heart, even here. Breathe in. And when you're ready, exhale, bend through the knees, step that left foot back up to meet the right, forward fold. Use some tension out of the hamstrings. Let's take that to the other side. So shift your weight slightly a little bit more over towards that left foot to really root it into the mat. And press the fingertips in towards the mat to get a little bit more lift out of the shoulders, a little bit more lift in the spinal column. Breathe in through the nose, bend through the knees. Exhale, step right foot 2 to 3 feet away from that front left foot. You can also make this a more narrow stance if the hamstrings are really, really tight. So again, take a moment, check in with your alignment, make sure that right thigh is flipped up towards the sky, that it's pointed down towards the mat. If that left knee is really tight or left hamstring is tight, start off with a deep bend as you breathe in. Press that left thigh directly to the back side of the room. Exhale, soften. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, soften. You should just find this movement in the hamstrings, trying to keep the upper body as steady and still as possible. Whenever you're ready, move into that point of most resistance. And let's be here for 2 breaths. You find that lengthened space for your neck. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and bend through that left knee. Step the right foot back up to meet the left and release into that forward fold. Let's go ahead and reach our hands towards opposite elbows as you sway to one side and then sway over towards the other. Letting yourself ragdoll, softening that tension out of the shoulders here. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and return to the center of your mat. Release the fingertips in front of the toes. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Nice strong flat back. And then slowly continue to roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. So the head is the last thing that lifts. Palms of the hands are down by the hips. Flip the palms to face the front side of the room. As you breathe in, let's sweep the fingertips up towards the sky and take a steeple grip here, interlacing your lower 3 fingers while the index fingers reach up towards the ceiling. Can you draw biceps back by the ears? Soften the shoulders down away from the ears. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale, we'll fold over to the left side of the room, keeping shoulders and hips square to the front. Think about lengthening through the right side of your body as opposed to compressing through the left. Even here, lift that chin away from the chest. And then we inhale, come back to the center. Exhale over to the opposite side, gently over to the right. Think about lengthening across the left side of your body, lifting the chin away from the chest. And then we inhale to the center. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let's hinge through the hips, bend through the knees, move into your chair. Breathe in and breathe out to keep lowering. Try to avoid arching out or rounding out through that upper back. Take 1 more breath in through the nose, and then exhale, release into that forward fold. Beautiful job. From here, take a bend through the knees, keeping the palms of the hands in front of the toes. Shift that weight gently over towards that right foot. Breathe in, exhale, step left foot all the way to the back edge of your mat for a runner's lunge. Your right knee is bent 90 degrees over the right ankle. You should be able to lift the gaze towards the front side of the room. And just feel that strength in your back left leg here. Whenever you're ready, take a deep breath in and then exhale. Let's release that left knee towards the mat, kind of the top of the left foot towards the earth. Inhale, we'll sweep the fingertips up towards the sky, bringing our upper body parallel to the front side of the room. Breathe in and breathe out. Take another breath in and exhale, release all 10 fingers to frame that front right foot. Plant the back left toes back into the mat. Inhale, lift the left knee off of the mat, and then use that core strength. Continue to rise up into your crescent lunge. Shoulders and hips are square to the front. Soften shoulders down away from the ears. Feel that strength in your back left leg. And then let's turn this into warrior one as you gently pivot that left foot over towards the left side of the room. Set that palm of the foot down towards the mat. Open your arms in line with the shoulders. Your right knee is still bent 90 degrees. You draw your eyes over that front right middle finger. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. From here, on that next inhale, we're gonna just hinge the hips, reach the right fingertips as close as they can go to the front side of the room. Exhale, release right forearm down onto right thigh, left hand lifts up towards the sky for extended side angle, or you can even release right hand down towards that right ankle for airplane arms. Whenever you're ready, let's inhale, rise back up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Make sure all 10 toes are pivoted forward for your runner's lunge. You can even stay lifted in the fingertips for a little more height. Whenever you're ready, release the palms of the hands in towards the mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step right foot back to meet the left for our first high plank. You can either stay here in high plank or you can lower the knees towards the mat for that plank option. When you're ready, inhale, lean your plank slightly forward. Exhale, lower down into low plank. Inhale for up dog. Then exhale for down dog. Awesome job. We'll stay here in down dog just for 2 more breath cycles. Hopefully now, maybe it's a little easier to bring the heel closer towards the earth. Maybe there's not as much tension in the hamstrings or in the shoulders. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in to walk, step, or float the feet back up to meet the hands, forward fold. On that next inhale, find your halfway lift, nice strong flat back, and continue to roll up 1 vertebra at a time until the head is the last thing that lifts, palms of the hands down towards the hips. As you inhale, sweep the fingertips back up overhead, take a steeple grip with the fingers, interlacing the lower 3, index fingers point towards the sky. Breathe in through the nose, and then we exhale over to the right side of the room first this time for that side body stretch. Inhale to the center, and exhale over to the opposite side. Let's inhale to the center, exhale, hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and exhale, hinge through the hips, bending through the knees, finding your chair. Beautiful job. Check in with the shoulders. Make sure your shoulder blades are just gently drawn together to maintain that broad chest. Your eyes are slightly down towards the earth. Breathe in towards the nose, and then exhale, release into that forward fold. And we'll take that sequence to the other side. So this time, making sure your left foot is rooted where it's at. If you like that little lift, you can release into the fingertips. Bend through the knees. Deep breath in. Exhale. Step right foot all the way to the back edge of your mat. All 10 toes are pointed to the front side of the room. Your right heel is lifted, left palm of the foot is flat onto the mat. Make sure left knee is directly over left ankle. You lift the eyes to the front side of the room. Maybe give yourself a little smile. And then exhale, release left knee down towards the, or right knee down towards the mat, top of the right foot in towards the earth. As you inhale, let's go ahead and move into our low lunge, sweeping all 10 fingertips up towards the sky. Giving shoulders and hips square to the front. Try to avoid hunching the shoulders all the way up towards the ears. You soften them down the spinal column instead. Breathe in, and then exhale, release all 10 fingers to frame that front left foot once again. Plant your right toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift your right knee off of the mat for runner's lunge. On that next breath in, let's lift all 10 fingertips up towards the sky, moving into crescent lunge. Find that strength in your back right leg. Keep that left knee bent 90 degrees. Shoulders and hips are square to the front. And then we'll turn this into warrior two. Pivoting that right foot over towards the right side of the room. Open the arms in line with the shoulders for warrior two. When you bring your eyes into that front left middle finger this time. In through the nose and out through the nose. On that next breath in, can you draw the left fingertips closer towards the front edge of the room? And then exhale, we'll start off with left forearm down onto the mat. Right fingertips up towards the sky with that right arm in line with right shoulder. You're welcome to stay here today, or if you prefer, you can always airplane those arms down towards the mat. Try to avoid pressing your hips back though. We want to maintain that warrior stance, that warrior integrity. Breathe in and breathe out. Take another breath in, and then whenever you're ready, inhale, rise up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hip all the way down towards the mat, runner's lunge. Making sure left knee is still bent 90 degrees. Slowly release palms of the hands down onto the mat. Deep breath in, exhale, step your left foot back to meet the right for high plank. Inhale, lean that plank forward. Exhale, lower the elbows 90 degrees, low plank. Inhale for up dog. And exhale for down dog. So feel free to paddle off your legs, or you can just simply enjoy this down dog. Beautiful work. Whenever you're ready from here, take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, walk, step, or float the feet up to meet the hands. One more forward fold. You can just let the fingertips rest down onto the mat. Maybe let them rest on the ankles, or you can reach for opposite elbows if that's what feels good for you today. And then whenever you're ready, return to the center. Let's inhale, find a halfway lift. And again, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time until the head is the last thing that lifts Tadasana. Let's finish off our practice with a little balance work before we move into the cool down. So make sure the feet are hips width distance apart, hands are starting down by the hips. And we'll inhale, sweep all 10 fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Start to shift your weight over to the standing left leg. As you inhale, gently lift the right leg 90 degrees off of the mat and check in with the hips here. If you find that this right hip is a bit higher than the left, I encourage you to lower that foot back down. Make sure the hips are neutral and gently parallel to each other, and then re-engage through your right quad instead. From here, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, open that right knee over towards the side of the room, and let's place the palm of the right foot just to rest either on that lower left calf, or bring that palm of the foot up onto the left inner thigh for archery pose. You can focus the gaze on something still and unmoving. Let your shoulders and hips stay square to the front, hands at heart center. Breathe in. When you're ready, exhale, release that palm of the foot off of that standing left leg. Inhale, gently bring right knee into close to the center. Exhale, set that palm of the foot down on towards the mat. And you can either shake out that tension in that left leg or just meet me back in Tadasana. Whenever you're ready, let's start to shift the weight over to that standing right leg. And then on that next inhale, start to lift that left leg 90 degrees off the mat. And try to keep the hips again in that neutral alignment without that left hip being too high. Make sure the left toes are gently curled in towards the shin. You're standing up nice and tall. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale. Open that left knee over towards the side of the room, and then bring the left palm of the foot either onto a lower calf or up onto that right inner thigh. Your hands can stay at heart center. Keep your gaze on the front side of the room. Focus that gaze on something still and unmoving. Beautiful job. Whenever you're ready, on that next exhale, gently release that palm of the foot off of that standing right leg. Inhale, bring the left knee into the midline. Exhale, set that left foot down onto the mat and maybe shake out that tension in that balancing leg. We're going to go through one more variation of tree. So when you're ready, go ahead and shift that weight back over to the standing left leg. Inhale, let's lift right leg 90 degrees off of the mat. Open that right knee over towards the side of the room. And then you can either take that traditional tree we just took, or if you'd like to take hot tree variation, you're going to keep that right palm of the foot flexed. Use your left hand to gently guide this right palm of the foot into this left hip crease. So that way you're going to feel this right knee draw directly down towards the earth. This is a big hip opener. The hands can come back to heart center, or you can even use this left hand to help keep this right foot in position. You can focus that gaze on something still and unmoving. Use your core strength to maintain your balance. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, gently release that palm of the foot out of that hip crease over to the side of the room. Inhale, bring that knee to the center. Exhale, set that palm of the foot down onto the mat. Maybe shake out that tension in that balancing left leg. Whenever you're ready, bring the feet back to hips width distance apart. Start to shift the weight over to that standing right leg. Inhale, we lift left leg 90 degrees off of the mat. Make sure the hips are neutral. Open that left knee to the side of the room. And again, you can take traditional tree or to take hot tree. Keep that left palm of the foot or left toes gently flex. Draw left palm of the foot into this right hip crease. Let your left knee point directly down towards the earth. Beautiful job. The hands become the heart center, or again, you can use that right hand to keep that left foot in place. Make sure your shoulders and hips are still square to the front, but we're not opening over towards one side of the room over the other. Focus that gaze on something still and unmoving. And breathe. Whenever you're ready, take a deep breath in and exhale. Gently release that palm of the foot back over towards the side of the room. Inhale, bring that knee back into the midline. Exhale, set that palm of the foot down onto the mat. Take that tension out of the toes. Whenever you're ready from here, let's inhale, press all 10 fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive down, coming into your forward fold. Plant all 10 fingertips in towards the mat. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back, our last side plank. You make sure that the crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the side of the room. The heels are drawn towards the back. You feel that navel engage. Lift up towards the spinal column. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. One more breath in, one more breath out, and then let's inhale. Lean that hand slightly forward. Exhale, bend the elbows 90 degrees down into low plank, and then release all the way down into the mat. With the palms of the hands come down by the hips to the tops of the feet into the mat. Let one cheek rest on the earth. And if you'd like to, you can bend through the knees. Let the palms of the feet fall to the left, and then fall to the right, just gently massaging out that low back. And then maybe let the opposite cheek come to rest, just gently stretching out through that neck on both sides. And then from here, bring the chin to rest in the center of your mat. Bring the feet back to center. Exhale, release the legs back down onto the earth. Walk the palms of the hands underneath the shoulders. We're gonna take a moment, rotate the shoulder blades down the length of the spine. And from here, we're just gonna inhale, gently press up off of the mat. Exhale, walk the hips back towards the heels for child's pose. Beautiful job. Can you soften that tension out of the elbows, out of the shoulders, at the crown of the, or let the forehead rest on the mat. Just allow yourself this time to breathe. And to reflect back on the intention we set at the beginning of our practice. Ease some more tension out of the shoulders. Let yourself melt a little bit deeper into your child's pose. Melt deeper into the mat. And whenever you're ready from here, slowly walk the palms of the hands closer in towards the knees to help you come up into a seated hero's pose, where the shins are resting on the mat, your hips are resting on the heels. Bring the palms of the hands to rest on the inner thighs. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Then exhale, closing down the eyes. Whenever you're ready from here with the eyes closed, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently release the chin towards the chest. You can see some tension out of the neck and the upper back. Keep the shoulders drawn away from the front side of the room. And then on that next inhale, lift the chin away from the chest up towards the sky. Just allow yourself to trust your motion and movement here. Keep the eyes closed. And when you're ready, you can gently release the chin back down towards the chest. Stretching out the neck there. And then we'll inhale, gently lift the chin back away from the chest up towards the sky. Opening up through the throat. And then exhale, release the chin into a neutral position. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, you can inhale, bring the arms in front of the shoulders. Breathe in here, and then as you exhale, draw that right arm across the body, hug that left hand around your right shoulder. If you want to, you can even give yourself a nice big hug here like this. Try to stack the elbows on top of each other, maybe lift the elbows a little bit more parallel to the right. And then when you're ready, exhale, release that bind, and take it to the other side. Draw the opposite arm across the shoulder, give your that right arm a hug around that left shoulder, and then you can even go for that full bind, stacking the elbows or lifting the elbows up towards the sky. And when you're ready, go ahead and release all 10 fingers back in line with the shoulders. We'll inhale, lift the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to our center. From here, go ahead and sweep the feet once again out in front of you. Maybe take a moment to just gently flex through the toes, ease that tension of the ankles, and you can point through the toes. Flex, and then point, and then bring the toes back into flexion from here. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, hinging through the hips, gently release into that seated forward fold. The fingertips can wrap around the toes, the palms of the feet, the shins, the ankles, wherever feels good. Try to keep that micro bend in the elbows. Breathe in and breathe out, getting a little deeper. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. And then we'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, inhale, slowly lift the fingertips back up towards the sky. And then exhale, gently release, laying down onto the mat easily. And take a full body stretch once you make your way there. Again, pointing through the toes, reaching the fingertips away from the belly button. Breathing in to grow another inch taller. And then exhale, soften the palms of the hands back down by the hips. From here, let's go ahead and bend through the knees. Palms of the feet are resting on the mat. The knees are about hips width distance apart. And let's move into that bridge pose once again. Gently rotate the shoulder blades together so that way the upper back is flush into the mat. Inhale, lift the hips off of the earth. Squeeze through the glutes, engage through the core. Let your shoulder blades support you here. No tension in the neck. The eyes are just gently drawn up towards the sky. Breathe in. And then let's exhale, release the hips towards the mat. And from here, I want you to take this time to just find any stretches that feel good for you and your body. You don't have to wait for direction from me. Maybe that's a happy baby, legs up the wall, whatever feels good today. I want you to just find this time to find what feels good for you. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and slowly, from wherever you are at, make your way into that supine position, letting your legs gently extend onto the mat, palms of the hands down by the hips. Take a deep breath in into the nose, and as you exhale, start to close down the eyes, shutting down that gaze. You maintain that steady pattern of breathing. Go ahead and start to come into your own natural rhythm of breathing. With every exhale, let yourself melt a little more into the mat. Let that tension ease out of the shoulders. Let it release out of the fingertips and toes. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you continue to let yourself release and relax, please start to let your thoughts drift out of the mind. Let those thoughts pass like clouds floating in the sky. To let that sensation melt away Let your worries drift away with them. Create that blank canvas for your mind. Breathing in. And as you exhale, release. And make your way into your Shavasana today. And whenever you're ready from here, you're welcome to stay in Shavasana and meditate for as long as you would like to. If you're ready, you can start to wiggle the fingertips, wiggle the toes, bringing that life and sensation slowly back into the physical being. You take a deep breath in and exhale, slide that breath in. When you're ready, allow yourself to roll over onto one side of the mat and let yourself awaken there. And letting the head rest in the crook of an elbow. Breathing in these final moments of peace and joy. And then allowing yourself to press up into an easy seated position. Letting the legs cross one on top of the other. Letting the sit bones reconnect with the mat. And the palms of the hands rest on the thighs to start. This is what inhale, sweep your fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, release the hands to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing in your practice with me today. All that is full of love and light within me recognizes and honors all that is full of that love and light within you. Namaste.